fuel pump. Now, see these little arrows here? They line everything up for you. Here's the new kit. There's a couple gaskets in there to go to a different application. But anyway, there's little check valves. And I'll open this up in a second and show them to you. But anyway, the ethanol gas, they just turned to hard plastic, and this fuel pump would have been struggling. And the problem with a 2-cycle engine is since every downward stroke of the piston is on fire, when you run them lean, they melt pistons quick. Okay, so the last thing you want to run an outboard is lean. And the oil has nothing to do with it. It's the gas. If it doesn't have enough gas, too much air, and it's starting to sneeze and kind of, I mean, you're melting that bad boy down. So just be mindful of that. So fuel pumps are pretty important. This goes to the block. That hole allows crankcase pressure to move this diaphragm against this spring. So back and forth on this side of this block. Okay, and see there's a one-way check valve right there. That's what this little thing is right here. Okay, and on the other side there's another one-way check valve facing the opposite direction. The two chambers are separated, and up here there's another spring-loaded diaphragm that goes on a hose that also goes to the crankcase. So these are on opposite cylinders. So every time it's pull, 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 and that's what makes the fuel pump pump. But these two check valves is what makes the fuel move. Okay, so anyway, this kit comes with all the diaphragms and the gaskets. Okay, and you can see they kind of peel off. So anyway, I'm going to replace all of the diaphragms and the gaskets, and it's pretty straightforward. So you just clean off the stuff. These little pins here, you push the very center of that pin in, and the other side of it, that comes out. Okay, the other side of that head, that center will come out, and it's like a rivet. So that plastic piece holds the rivet spread open. So anyway, when you do this, you'll see it. So it's pretty straightforward. Line up all the tabs. Everything should be good to go. Blow through the in to out. It should blow. Blow through the out to in. Should not. New. Nice flopsy. Rubber. This is the plastic that backs it up. Here's the original. You can see how small the plastic backup is. Look how crunchy it is. Oop, it's making crackly sounds. I just folded it. It's cracking. Just cracked. Junk. Okay. If I tried to run this fuel pump, I'd have just been building this engine again. So it's worth checking. Let's make sure that those rubbers are nice and soft. And if they aren't, maybe it's time for a rebuild. Tip 101.111. Take the two long bolts that actually go through the pumping end of the block, and you can make little pins for you to stack all your parts as you put them back together. So that'll be much helpful. It's a little crusty one. Maybe that's cracked. That never mind. Okay, so anyway, once you got those on there, then these shorter screws, there's threaded holes. So then you put those down, and then you take this to the engine and you snug it all the rest of the way down. So anyway, you know, that spring thing goes there. That spring thing goes there. That diaphragm goes over that. That gasket goes against that. And you stack it all together. Keeping all those little notches together. Thing right. You should be able to blow, but not suck. Suck, but not blow. And on this one, you should be able to push and pull a vacuum on it, but it should not go anywhere. In other words, it should stay sealed. But you're actually moving that diaphragm. And this one on this side is a little tougher, but you can still put your mouth on there or whatever you're going to use. So, and it's your outboard. So, same thing. Push, pull, shouldn't leak out. And then it's ready to do it. When I did this test before, it did not pass. I could blow in and out, either direction, because neither of those check valves were actually checking anything. So, all right, much better. Okay, so anyway, it's important that we talk about these things here. They're all over the block, okay? And what they are is they're part of the recirculation system. And what it does is gasoline puddles here between these two cylinders, and it sends it here between two cylinders. You see the pattern here? To there between two cylinders. You see the pattern? And then shoots it out this hose that goes up there by the shift shaft. It comes around to this side, goes all the way back up to the top. Okay? And this helps feed the upper bearing. Okay? So we'll keep that wet. All right. So anyway, this is all part of that system, and this one is another one that works the opposite direction. If gas puddles in the bottom of the intake, it shoots it back up here. Or you know what, I got that backwards. Anyway, every one of these will check one way, not the, no, it does. This is open. Okay, that's right. That's out. That goes out. And this is just a tube. There's actually a brass tube that shoots in right next to the intake port. So it's kind of like fuel injection, sort of, if you're talking about puddle of old gas. So anyway, and it does that because, as I showed earlier, there's the seal rings between each cylinder. So you have 3 separate things going on at all times. And that's critical to its functioning, okay? And there's also, although you can't see it now, there's a check valve that's right about dead center in the crankcase half when this reed valve is off. Those are the reed valves right there. And it's a check valve too. So you want to make sure that all those check valves check one way and not the other. That's basically all you got to do, is make sure they're free and there, okay? So, really important, okay? All right, thanks.